So, I hear we're into some of the same stuff.
You are about to join the revolution.
The time has come. Your world will never be the same. You are listening to a sophisticated conversation.
Greetings and welcome to episode number 51 of Podcast Revolution. I am your host, Johnny T, as some people call me. And joining me via Skype over in Germany is the legendary Tab. Tab, say hello.
Hey.
Whoa, everyone, you're a little late. But, alright, that's fine. Alright, so, it's been a while since episode 50 took place. Tab, what's happening?
Yeah, well, not much. I've pretty much just been passed out since then, because that was like a fucking rager of an episode. For those of you who haven't listened to it, should go and listen to it right now, and those of you who have listened to it should just go the right fuck back and listen to it again.
Good point. It was pretty funny. I'd give it an A to an A plus in that range for one of our episodes, and it doesn't take much to be up there.
Yeah, I'd give it a rating of 2 P's.
Out of how many P's?
Well, how many P's are in PPR?
Well, technically 3 if you have an uppercase R and you cut off the.
Well, in reality, you could say that there's 4 P's because they revolve once.
That's true. All right, moving on. So, Tab, I'm not sure if you know this, but or if this is a big deal over in Germany, but according to a lot of crazies in America, today is the day of the rapture.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was actually talking to my mother about it, and we were commenting on how, our whole family probably isn't going to get raptured. But my mom was explaining how it's supposed to happen at 6 o'clock, and so I asked her, well, 6 o'clock your time or my time? Like, how does that even work? And she's like, oh, well, it happens 6 o'clock wherever you are. It's like a rolling rapture, It starts at one place and then kind of then it moves slowly over time.
So if you get on an airplane, you can avoid it for a while.
Well, until you, sort of, sure.
You can avoid it for at least 12 hours. Maybe more than that.
Depends on how fast your airplane is.
So that
or
means
slow, I guess.
By right now, Japan should be toast, correct?
Yeah, they should have been destroyed by an earthquake or something. Oh, wait. No.
Oh, that's distasteful. I'll give you a D for distasteful. And an A for asshole. All right, but yes. So, they say 6 o'clock, but maybe it's rolling. Maybe they just mean 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. I don't know. But
maybe they mean 6 o'clock ancient, Old Testament time.
What time is that then?
Here's the thing. I've been hearing the whispers about the rapture thing. But I haven't seen anywhere where they go, oh yeah, and here's where we're getting that date from. It just seems like your standard internet bullshit.
Oh no, it's code in the Bible. They moved words around and did numerology
in the Bible. So pretty much at this point, the Pope is just like, yeah, goodbye everybody. It's been fun being your Pope.
Apparently, no, but if you are listening to this podcast after we've made it, then congratulations.
You weren't raptured.
You're
enjoying the apocalypse.
Unsaved.
I'm surprised you have internet access.
Well, apparently the good people are gonna rise up, and all us bad people are gonna stay here till October and then get murdered by.
Yeah, we've actually got kind of a waiting period where everything's pretty much fine. There's a couple natural disasters, and a third of all the creatures on the earth and in the in the air and in the oceans. I've looked at revolutions briefly.
Revelation.
But a lot of stuff gets murdered.
Yes, lots of murdering. Most of which I am not too worried about.
But, yeah, I mean, does it explicitly say that we're all completely fucked, or is it we get to have fun in a zombie apocalypse? Because if that's the case, I'm coming back to the USA to team up with my buddies.
Well, If you're going down, you might as well have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go out Left 4 Dead style.
So you want to be with 4 people and they get spit on and burn in the goop?
Yeah.
All right, I guess you have that luxury.
Yes. Thank you.
Make my dick wet!
Yes. All right, so for this episode, we are going to do some experimenting, and because Tab has put in an application for the position of co-host, which right now he's the foreign correspondent, so right now he will be the intern assistant host. So today he will be doing some interning and he'll be playing the role of host. So that'll be after the first break, which will be coming soon. Tab, how do you feel about this potential promotion?
I'm a little anxious because if I screw this up, I might get busted down to foreign intern again, and that's just a terrible place. Like,
no! If you screw this up, you're gonna get shit canned. You'll be gone.
Still, that's better than being a foreign intern. The foreign intern's office is awful. It's like working at the sewage factory.
And the internet connection there isn't even very good, right?
Oh no! It's you actually the internet connection is directly through your urethra. It's terrible.
Wow, you're very committed to this job.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially since I'll do anything to not go back there.
Yay!
Well, we're very proud of you, and we hope you can make the jump, the leap, if you will, to co-host.
Yes.
After you're done being the assistant host intern.
Yes.
Yes, so
I'm looking forward to the 5,000% increase in my salary, though. That'll really help.
I thought we agreed to 200% or 2,000 or 20,000 or whatever it was.
Whatever. It doesn't actually change my salary. So.
With contributions to your 401k.
Yes, whatever that is. How about my Dow Jones?
Shut up.
Escrow?
What?
Selling long?
Shut up, cunt.
What
Shut up, John Lithgow.
It's Lithgow. That's right. So
You know that Steve Buscemi's name is actually pronounced Buscemi.
I was aware of that. Were
Good.
you aware that? Do you know who James Taylor is?
No.
Well, he's a musician, a folk guitarist or whatever.
Yeah.
Captain J. Russ got to hang out with his brother yesterday at his new job. Captain J. Russ recently moved back to New Hampshire, and he got to fly around with Livingston Taylor. Livingston, that's a pretty rich-sounding name, if I may say so myself.
Yeah.
And Jeff got to hang out with him for approximately 24 hours. So
Cool.
he got a lot of free stuff.
Like STDs?
He got to go backstage at Livingston's little show that he did in Syracuse, New York. That's kind of cool.
Cool. Did you think I said CDs?
Yeah, what did you say?
STDs.
STDs. Oh, well, that goes without saying. I'm Captain Obvious here,
Sorry.
but yes.
Beat that dick, Douglas!
Shut up, Skeeter. People can suck my dick. Like I'm sure we've discussed this on the show before. But like when you were little and you're watching Doug, like Skeeter was clearly black, right?
Well, when I was a real little kid, I didn't really know what he was supposed to embody. I thought he was just Doug's goofy friend. It was more when I looked back on it that I saw that he was more urban and represented a racial diversity in Doug, aside from being blue.
Well, yeah, I mean, like they did a great job of making all the characters except for Doug, of course, because he was, the milky toast. Yeah. But like they're all just like random ass colors, except for Patty, who was almost normal colored.
Yeah, she was like black with blonde hair.
What?
Patty was like black or like very tan.
She was like colored.
What?
I'm pretty sure she was carrot colored, like an orange.
Oh, yes, she was. She tanned too much.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna have some skin cancer in her later years.
She was an Oompa Loompa.
Yes.
And her dad was in a wheelchair, which
That's all I remember. I can't remember what he looks like. I just remember that he had a wheelchair.
oh boy, Patty's dad. But yeah,
You know,
what's that?
You know he got in that wheelchair, right?
I believe I'm about to find out.
It was in the process of murdering Patty's mother.
No, it's not true. Don't even ask.
All right, looks like it's time for a break.
Tear me apart, Lisa.
All right, we will be right back after this.
You are tearing me apart.
Walk on, my boys. Hand me some of that reefer. This stuff's delicious. Oh man, we're the Fry Kids and we love marijuana.
Oh, it's so good, man. oh, pass it on, man.
Hey, you kids! Stop smoking marijuana, you damn Fry Kids. You
Hey,
goddamn mashed
we are the Fry
potato
Kids. We don't listen
motherfuckers.
to coppers.
Hey, I'll mash your potato faces to the smithereens. Cream potatoes. Get the fuck out of here before I beat the 7 shades of potato out of you.
Let's go find the Nugget kids and beat the crap out of them.
Come in!
I'm looking for the mayor.
Hang on a
Where's the
second, I'm
mayor?
on a phone call. Hello, QVC? I would like to order the stockings that I saw on your television
Damn bird.
program.
Put the phone down.
Ow! Why'd you do
smash
that?
you.
I'm Birdie.
Open the damn... Why is this door locked? I need to talk to the mayor immediately.
The
Open the
mayor
door.
can only speak to you on appointment.
Open the door.
You don't have an appointment.
I will kill you, bitch. I will shoot you in the face with a potato gun. You will die.
Okay. Here, bzzz. Oh my god! He's
Mayor! Oh my goodness, there's no pulse. There's no ketchup blowing through his blood veins. Because that's how hamburgers work. Oh my goodness, are these bite marks? It looks like someone's eaten most of his skull. Oh god, I mean, I can't blame them because it looks pretty damn delicious. In fact, I'm gonna sneak a nibble. Well, I didn't realize they made hamburgers with mayonnaise. Oh my god, this isn't mayonnaise, it's semen. Oh my god. But I mean, it's still pretty damn delicious. And I mean, I've got to establish time of death because I'm also the forensic pathologist of McDonald Land, Officer Big Mac. Oh, well, it's impossible to tell because you can't tell when a hamburger's been killed. 3 years ago or 10 minutes ago. McDonald's.
McDonald's hamburgers do not contain semen.
And we're back. Wasn't that a great commercial, John?
It was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the money we get from those sponsors. It goes directly into our salaries. But, I mean...
Go on.
What I was thinking about, times I'll be talking to people, and for whatever reason, candies and chocolates will come up as like a conversation piece. Yeah, I know, that sounds absolutely retarded. But the point that I want to get to is that typically when I mention, how I prefer dark chocolate over milk chocolate, what I always notice is that the women are always the ones who are like, oh, I can't stand dark chocolate. And there always seems to be a pretty strong consensus that most of the men I know enjoy dark chocolate, but no women do. They prefer milk chocolate.
Hey, based
What's
on
your
what
take
I've
on
seen,
this?
it's kind of the opposite. A lot of women I know like dark chocolate. But go on.
Maybe it's a regional thing.
It could be. German women just don't. Maybe German dark chocolate's different than our dark chocolate. Maybe German dark chocolate is just shit.
It's my impression that in fact the exact opposite is true. But I mean, my vague theory about this, because again, this is just based on anecdotal evidence. Like I did on this, is that women probably, dark chocolate's more bitter, and I think men prefer a bitter taste than a sweet taste. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy, sweet candies and stuff, but I think we're more tolerant of the more bitter taste of dark chocolate over the more sweet taste of milk chocolate.
And what's a good way to get a bitter taste?
Just less sugar, less milk.
Okay.
Because the basic compounds in just like raw chocolate are very bitter, which is why you have to have sugar and milk in order for it to taste good. So if you increase the concentration of cocoa, you're decreasing the sweetness in that milky flavor.
Well, based on what I've seen, I don't hear babies complaining about the taste of milk. That they don't ask to have sugar added.
I'm not. But what?
You're saying
No.
milk is better when you add sugar, but babies
No,
don't
I'm not saying
complain
that.
about it.
I'm saying that chocolate tends to be better with milk and sugar.
Okay,
Have you ever had baker's chocolate? That stuff's disgusting because it has no sugar in it.
that's true.
It is true.
All right, so continue hosting.
Although, have you ever actually given a baby a taste test? You know, like a Pepsi challenge between milk and milk with sugar in it.
Yes.
Oh, what was so? They preferred the plain milk.
Well, the baby threw up both times, so.
Oh, so you need to repeat your experiment a couple more times.
Or I could bring it to a Tab baby shower.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. Although I think the baby would get dizzy from all the spinning and baseball bat swings.
And all the blood loss, too.
Well, possibly. For those of our listeners not aware of what we're talking about, you really need to see episode 50. It's really a memorable event,
Yeah.
especially since it's our sure aired episode.
Go on.
I'm just saying.
All right, so dark chocolate. I could go for
Yeah,
dark
but-
chocolate right now.
Although, of course, I also have to point out that while I do enjoy dark chocolate, I'm not a fan of the dark chocolate ladies-wise, and that has nothing to do with me being racist. That's just, personal taste. Do you agree, John? Of course, you're married, so your opinions are skewed towards your wife.
Well, all I know is that the funniest thing referring dark chocolate with race was when in Freddy vs. Jason, when Freddy clearly showed his affection for dark chocolate.
Really?
Yeah, did you ever see that movie?
No, I didn't.
It was funny. It was entertaining. It wasn't scary in the least. I don't think it was meant to be. But it was
Right.
humorous. All right, let's talk about this. Talk about film franchises. How does anybody actually get scared by movies like that have 4 or 5 sequels? Like Saw movies.
No.
Do those actually scare people, or is that just murder porn?
It is more murder porn. Like, that's not even an argument.
Like, there's no reason for those movies to exist, except to make
here's
sick
my opinion.
people
I
happy.
don't care for any of them, but you could argue that the first one has some merit.
Yeah, first
But
one
the rest
has
of them, no.
some twists,
Yeah, kind of.
kind of.
They're like the thing. My biggest issue with the ending of Saw 1 is it's not so much a twist as something that you could never possibly predict because it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, and I'm not necessarily saying that that's an inherently bad thing, but it's not like a twist is something where it's like, you watch the movie a couple times and you're like, oh, I see how that was led up to. It's like, no, it's some dude being like, guess what? I don't actually have a gun in the head, dude. Oh, spoilers, I guess.
Eh.
Ooh, what do you think is the statute of limitations for spoilers?
Well, it depends. Like movies that are over 10 years old, you'd think should be spoiler free, but a lot of people haven't seen something. So I think if you want to spoil something, go ahead. Like I spoiled a few things earlier on the show that made Bad Andy mad, but I'd say it really. Actually, I have a question for you before I answer your question. If a movie's spoiled for you, does that make the movie less enjoyable?
Well, I would say so. It's like watching a movie the second time, or well, depending on the movie, just a multiple later times. It's never as good as the first time because you know what's happening.
True.
So I mean, there's lots of movies where I've like read up on them on like Wikipedia, like I've read the plot synopsis and then I've watched the movie. And so you watch it and you know what's going to happen and it changes your viewing experience, but it doesn't like necessarily decrease how good the movie is. It just reduces how much you enjoy the first viewing.
Okay, well, spoilers for Empire Strikes Back. When I was a little kid, I knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father before I saw the movie, but the movie was still very enjoyable. So, and I think there's some instances where the movie itself is good enough that it can overcome being spoiled. But there's some movies, for instance, where if you read it, then you could say, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't watch the movie because I would have wasted my time because it was all a dream."
Yeah. I'm trying to think about a movie recently where I knew something about the ending. I can't remember what the movie was though, which is really pissed me off. But it was one of those things where like I'd heard this and I watched it, and I was like, well, it was one of those things where like the common consensus was that the ending revealed this, and I watched it and I went, no, it doesn't. It doesn't clearly make that evident.
Titanic.
No, I haven't watched Titanic, and I'm proud of that fact.
Well, spoilers for real life: the boat sinks and a lot of people die.
Oh my goodness! Shut your mouth! You just shut your mouth. You just lost a friend.
But it is funny when people get mad when you spoil a true life movie. It's like, well, that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm really trying to remember what this movie was where the common consensus I did not agree with.
Watchmen.
No.
'Cause I know you loved that movie.
Yeah, I loved it. Fucking loved it.
Well, all this downtime is making you look like a bad host.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I got.
I'm gonna start calling
My
you
apologies,
Cages.
audience.
I'm gonna call you Cages.
If you call me Cages, I will cages in your face, and it will not be pleasant for you.
Yeah, it's last night. Cages is back from college now, and I invited him to go bowling with me, and he said he's still too burned out from finals to go bowling, so he was just gonna stay home and relax. Possibly the worst
So he's gonna
excuse
go-
I've ever heard.
That is honestly saying I am so burned out by finals that I'm unable to do non-schoolwork. Like, dude, I have a final 2 days from now that I haven't studied for, and I'm doing this podcast instead. Like I would rather do things than like study for finals. And he's like, "Oh, I'm too tired from finals." Fuck him.
Like, it would be fine if he just said, "No, I don't feel like going out," but saying he's too burned out from finals. I mean, that's what you do to relieve the burnout.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like you're too burned out to go bowling. It's not like you say want to go out and want to come along. Like bowling is such like a low activity sport. Well, let's not even call it a sport. I'm sorry, but
It's an activity.
Yes, it's definitely an activity. You know, I feel on that note that there are a lot of things where you could definitely call it a competitive activity, but to call it a sport is complete bullshit.
No, you don't really need to be athletic to bowl.
But I mean,
it's a
like
skill.
with things like I feel like there's lots of things that that are athletic competitions that aren't sports. I feel like the term sport definitely has a very fluid definition, but like competitive cheerleading, I will agree it's an athletic competition. I would not call it a sport.
Right.
I
don't.
feel like
Go ahead.
I feel like a major sport thing is that when you say competitive, it's direct competition or something where it's very transparent scoring system. So like for like racing, it's obvious whoever has the best time wins.
Right.
The fact that you're all doing it at the same time is just kind of whatever.
But any event where you're judged, you there's no saying who's actually the better one.
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely say it's a competition because you're competing for the best score. But to call it a sport, it's not like your competition impacts the other person's competition. It's not like you're both doing your routines at the same time and you're trying to like interfere with each other or something.
Like a rap battle.
I guess, but I wouldn't call rap battle a sport unless there was actual battling involved.
I'm gonna throw my fist down your throat. You're not gonna be able to utter another note.
It'd be great. It would be like Yu-Gi-Oh combined with freestyling. So like in order to actually punch someone, you have to like incorporate into your rap how you're going to punch them.
Oh boy, these rap battles are gonna go really far. Let's show them how gay we are.
Oh wow, that would be a terrible rap battle.
But that would be very
Can you
active. 99% of them.
Like a football game or something. Like the two teams are lined up, and then one of them's like about to do the kickoff or whatever. And instead, they all just start fucking each other. I don't think showing them how gay they are.
In your fantasies, Tab. In your fantasies. Oh my. All right, you're Your promotion is looking less and less likely.
What? What have I done wrong? We've had a good conversation going. In fact, I think I've been doing a pretty good job. I wouldn't say I've been doing better than you, but I'd say I'm doing better than Eric ever did.
Well, all Eric talks about is trying to mask his homosexuality. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but by trying to look over masculine.
Yeah, and constantly complain about the women that he failed to hook up with.
Because they realize that he's not actually into them.
Also that he's obsessed with DeGrotto.
Oh my!
Like I will bet you right now. Like let's say $5. Just be conservative. That he's still watching DeGrotto.
Oh, he has my Netflix account at his house, and I noticed that somebody has been watching DeGrotto on Netflix.
Oh dear!
But it's the older episodes, so those don't count.
Wait a minute. No, I feel like there should be a clause that he shouldn't just not watch new ones. He shouldn't be watching the old ones again. That's like the gateway drug to more DeGrotto.
That boy needs some help.
You should hook up an app on his internet connection so he can't look up about the new episodes. He shouldn't be able to. He should be completely out of touch with it. He should be completely on the on the wagon.
He should get off the grid. He can be off the grid.
Yes.
When it comes to
what you should do is knock him unconscious with a wrench, just drag him out into the woods, and just leave him there so he'll never have to watch DeGrotto again.
It's funny. I found a video from high school that one of my friends made where a lot of us went mini golfing. It was probably a group of 25 people or whatever. And everybody, like Bacteria Mike was there. He looks a lot younger. I look a lot younger. Nobody else that you know is there. But Eric is there. He looks exactly the same. He was a metrosexual then, and he's a metrosexual now. And it's funny. Whenever, even if you go to his house just to sit and relax and watch a game, and he's not leaving the house, his hair is still made up perfectly.
Well, he takes 5 a day.
That's true. Actually, you know what's going to be awesome is when I go to Toronto this coming week, I won't have to worry about him making the bed. Have you there?
Kill him?
What's that?
Nothing, because he's not going to be there.
Right, he's not going this year. So that means that room service will actually be able to go into our room to clean it. Because last year Eric wouldn't let them in. He put "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door all day. Because he didn't want them to ruin the bed that he made.
Well, you know, I got to say that's actually a smart method for avoiding having to tip. Although I don't know if you're a fan of tipping the housekeeping staff, but you're supposed to, you know, just like you're supposed to tip like fucking everything nowadays.
Right. I'd give them a couple dollars if I had them come in.
Yeah, it's.
And
yeah,
if I had the room as a huge mess and they cleaned it, that's fine. If I had the room immaculate and they came in, there's not really a point.
Yeah, like I gotta say, coming in and like changing the sheets maybe and like making the bed, like I'm sorry, making the bed, I don't give a shit. I never make my bed.
Yeah.
Why? Who's gonna come in my like? Well, I'm gonna bring a hooker into my hotel room and she's gonna be like, oh god, that's a terrible thing. I want my money back. However it works.
Oh my.
Of course. I'm not familiar with any situation where a hooker pays you and goes to a hotel room with you.
That's true. But it's funny. Last year, Eric got very furious with me one night because I wanted to go to bed, and my bed was right near the bathroom, and I could hear the shower. So I told Eric that he wasn't allowed to shower, and he got very angry with me. I mean, he did shower again in the morning, but...
Oh, Eric.
Mr. Clean. You know that? I've heard studies where it's actually not good to shower too much. Like, it's bad for your skin.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't let it build up. It's not immunity, but it's a similar concept to immunity.
Well, what it is it dries your skin out, and it washes off the layer of oil that's usually on your skin. It keeps it in good shape.
Right.
And I mean, and also, like, shampoo and soaps aren't great for your skin and scalp either. It's okay. I'm not saying don't use it. Like, soap's great if you have like dirt on you, but if you're not like actually having dirt on you, just water's fine.
Yeah. Oh boy. But all right. It looks like it's time for a break, so we'll be back with more topics after this. Netflix. 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 No Netflix. 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 Netflix always makes for a good night. All right, wasn't that an informative commercial?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a fan of our commercials.
All right, so Tab, what have you been doing with your life lately?
Well, when I've been busy not studying for my finals, I've been playing a lot of video games.
What kind of video games?
Well, I don't really have a big budget for buying new ones, so I've been playing an older one that I've had for a while, Left 4 Dead 2.
That's a very fun game. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I really wanted to just buy Left 4 Dead 1, so I have more campaigns to play.
Nice. And I mean, you can't play online, so you can't troll people like we did with KCAP. Wait, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so you can't troll people like we did.
Yeah, one thing that actually sucks is I have the German version of Left 4 Dead 2, which is censored.
Really?
Um,
And how so? Like less gory?
It's less gore and it's less gore. All like, you know how like in Left 4 Dead 2 you can like blast limbs off and stuff and set zombies on fire.
Yeah.
Well, in the German version, you can't blast limbs off, and they fade away really quickly when you kill them. And if you set them on fire, they still have the animation for being on fire, but they're not actually on fire.
Huh.
And so what they decided to do to make it up to the people in Germany is they added some extra weapons from some maybe a comm game or one of those like army games. So there's a few extra guns that show up occasionally, and they also added one close combat weapon, which is like a small knife, but it's actually a pretty good weapon. Like they're all like actually pretty decent weapons. Like they're slightly better than normal ones, but not enough to be like, oh wow, I got this super awesome. It's totally worth not having the best fucking part of the game, which is the fucking zombie gore. But I'm okay with it.
Okay, I'm very happy for you. So, what other video games have you been playing?
I had been playing a lot of. What had I been playing a lot of?
All right, no one actually cares. So, Tab, how do you feel about the whole PlayStation Network issue? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I know about it. I don't care.
Well, because you're not a PlayStation owner, and I am, but I never use it, so, and none of my information was on it. But for those of you who don't know, would you like to explain the situation?
Well, so essentially, for people who online have a setup through in Xbox, there's the Xbox
Live.
Xbox Live. Wii's got some sort of weird thing going on, and the PlayStation 3 has the PlayStation Network, and that's also connected to other PlayStation products such as the PSP, and I want to say even some computer products from Sony.
Yeah.
And so, of course, if you're using it, you've probably got some information on it, including maybe even your credit card information, because you're paying for things online, that are from the network. So if you're buying like downloads of stuff from your games. And so there was this huge kind of break in their security, and someone hacked in and did who knows what.
Stole millions of users' information, it was shut down for about 3.5 weeks.
I think. 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
And it's had, I think, since then maybe one or two, at least one more break-in.
Yeah. Well, they said it wasn't a break-in; it was just a glitch.
And so it's kind of.
It could have been. Go on.
So it's this huge uproar because people have lost the security they had in that system is gone, and so you've got customer confidence is down.
Yeah, a lot of people have been trading in their PlayStation 3s for Xboxes, so Microsoft couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a public relations nightmare for Sony. Yeah, I guess they didn't do a good enough job protecting their users.
I think probably one of the various elements is that I imagine that the PlayStation Network is a little bit more computer accessible than Xbox Live, which would make it I would imagine less hack proof.
Right.
Because I was thinking to myself, well, how hard would it be for the same thing to happen to Xbox Live? For whatever reason, it would be less likely.
True.
Also, because I imagine since Xbox is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft is like the hugest computer name besides I guess maybe IBM, they would probably have the best damn cybersecurity that you'd find.
Despite the fact that Windows gets a lot of viruses.
Well, yeah, but that's Windows.
Right. But yes, how long do you think it'll be till mega viruses hit video game systems?
That's a good question.
'Cause I think it's inevitable at this point.
I think with the constant internet connections that most of them have, it's possible. But the problem is that there's no clean. The only way to get in would be if you downloaded something that contained a virus.
True. And the system, since there's there's different models of it, but there's pretty much just one Xbox, so that they can make it easier to fix. Whereas Windows is on 10 million different computers, and it's one operating system, but several different ways that can be affected.
I mean, honestly, though, if let's say your Xbox got some sort of virus, it would be as simple as incorporating into, like, say, a patch or something that would revert it to a previous system. It would be like a previous confirmation thing that you can do with your computer.
Yep.
Because really, the only ways I can imagine that you could easily get a virus in would be if you incorporated into one of the actual updates for Xbox or Xbox Live, or if someone was stupid enough to download something from an unknown source.
True. So Tab, have you seen any movies lately? Let's just abruptly switch topics.
Movies lately. Not really. I recently not really because I was super excited about seeing it, just because it was available to be watched, so I watched it.
What'd you see?
That Rio. It's one of those CGI things.
Okay.
They're all parrots. It's got Jesse Eisenberg and Anne Hathaway.
Okay. And
It was
you saw the English version?
yes.
Okay. And how was it?
I didn't realize there was anything other than the English version.
I didn't know if in other countries they dubbed it or anything.
Well, no, but I mean, this was acquired through the internet. So
Oh, okay. Go ahead. So how was the film?
it was your standard. I don't know if it was Pixar or DreamWorks that made it, but it was your standard CGI bullshit. I can't stand them.
So it wasn't charming or funny or anything?
It was okay, but honestly, I was just frustrated by the storyline just being stupid.
Okay. Well, would you recommend it for families or no?
Oh yeah, sure, why not?
If you had a kid, would you bring your kid to see it and leave feeling that you didn't waste your own money for yourself?
In a hypothetical situation, yes, but for me personally, no. I would just be like, "Hey kid, watch Aladdin,"
True.
and I'd pop in my VHS tape,
Aladdin. That was a classic.
and then I'd be like, "Hey kid, listen to this. You know Aladdin, the guy who voiced him, Steve from Full House," and then the kid would be like, "Who is Steve from Full House, and what is Full House?" And I'd smack him and be like, "You better respect your elders, boy, and learn what Full House is."
Hey,
Then
who
Child
is
Protective
Steve
Services
from
would
Full
do-
House?
Steve
Is
from
that
Full
DJ's
House?
boyfriend?
Yeah, he was the voice of Aladdin.
Really?
Yeah, only the spoken voice, not the singing voice.
Right. Yeah, that was a very different voice.
Yes.
I can show you the world.
A whole new world. Yeah, that's enough.
We should do a musical episode of PPR. Where we just infringe on copyrights left and right.
Yes. Oh, this is kind of harking back to some really earlier bad episodes where you guys just trolled the internet for topics to discuss. But I was recently reading a Cracked article that was talking about movies that you didn't realize were remakes.
Oh yes, I saw that one as well.
Yeah,
Like Wizard
and
of Oz.
Yeah, in the Wizard of and the movie being a remake of other movies, but that wasn't something I was too familiar with. I knew it was essentially based originally off of a stage play, which was something I was familiar with because I'm actually a big kind of Wizard of Oz scholar, I guess.
Okay.
But the thing that I always find weird is that people don't realize that the movie was based off of one book out of 13, no, more than 13. I want to say 16 by L. Frank Baum. And the fact that people don't know that, I find really weird because, like, with me, like, A, classic movie, B, classic children's book.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you of the same opinion?
Right. Yeah, I knew it was based off the book.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing for people not to know that there were a whole bunch of books. That's
Right.
fine.
I didn't know it
I'm
was a
okay
whole
with that.
bunch. I thought it was just one.
It's funny. There's actually, I want to say there's 16 by the original author, but then within the canon, there's like 50 by
Wow.
other authors.
Are they
Like,
just
it's
other books that take place in Oz?
Yeah, I mean, they don't all have Dorothy, and they don't all have, I mean, even any of the characters in the original, but there's several that revolve around characters from the original. So
Right, well-
there's actually,
Oh, go ahead.
John?
Go ahead.
there's one that's called the Scarecrow of Oz, and it's about this. And the Scarecrow is kind of the main focus, and there's Man of Oz, there's the Cowardly Lion of Oz. Of course, there's a shitload of others, and they're all they're pretty good children's books, in my opinion.
That reminds me of on Arrested Development when Tobias said he loved the Steel Man from Wizard of Oz.
Steel Man. Oh, Tobias.
But I saw another Cracked article that was discussing misunderstood characters in movies, and I'm not sure if this is touched on in Wicked or not because I've never seen it, but the witch in Wizard of Oz really isn't that evil based on her role in the movie. Like, all she wants is her dead sister's slippers. That's her main motivation. And
Well,
she
yeah,
goes through some evil ways to obtain them. She threatens to kill the dog and everything. But
Yeah, if you read the book is actually, not only is it a good children's book, it's a good children's book in the old-fashioned way, in that there's actually like violence and things being murdered. Like, not in like a graphic, scared children kind of way, but just in an old-fashioned kind of almost Brothers Grimm style.
yes, like Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, but one thing that is kind of grazed over is, you know how all the Munchkins were really excited that the Wicked Witch of the East was dead?
Yes.
You know why they were excited? Because they were all her slaves.
Well, so they were dancing in the street kind of like Americans after Osama got murdered.
No, more like, well, yes, I guess like that, but also like, maybe the blacks after they were freed.
Yeah.
But I mean, and here's the thing: the Wicked Witch of the West, where she lived, all the people there were slaves. In the movie, there were these weird soldier dudes with green faces. I don't know what was going on with that, but in the book, they're Munchkins, and they were slaves too.
That's understandable.
And when I say yellow, because in the movie it's not carried well, but essentially in the 4 cardinal directions of Oz, there's 4 different lands, and they're all like color coded.
So you belong with your color, is what you're saying.
Well, no, it's just
It's
like
a very
they
segregated society in Oz.
Well, no, it's more like fashion segregation. All the Munchkins wear blue. All the Winkies wear yellow. I don't remember the other 2, but they sound even more retarded than Munchkins and Winkies.
That's difficult to do.
Yeah.
Sounds like different names of, what are those things called? Teletubbies.
Teletubbies.
Maybe that's where they got their inspiration. It's weird. One of my coworkers, her father, I believe, enjoys Teletubbies, which I find odd. Apparently, he likes the baby in the sun. Or it's her mother, I don't know. But either way, I find it strange.
Yeah, that's troubling.
To say the least. But to each their own.
Yeah, I actually, speaking of Wicked, you mentioned that before. I've actually read Wicked, and I didn't like it.
Well, I'm not familiar with it, so.
It wasn't really a bad book, but it was just like, it wasn't like, oh, here's the Wizard of Oz from the witch's point of view. It was like, no, here's a weird version that's all like kind of modernized and kind of slightly sexualized. Like, I think, who does the witch sleeps with, I think, I want to say maybe the Tin
Steelman?
Woodsman.
Steelman?
Yeah, with the Steel Man. I think she sleeps with the Steel Man at some point.
Oh.
The Steel Man. Autobias.
All right. Speaking of that, let's go to Arrested Development. Let's have an in-depth discussion on Arrested Development.
Go for it. You're the expert.
Since we've talked about it on the show a lot, but we've never actually talked about it. So, Tab, what makes Arrested Development so great?
I think it's just got it's very smart humor. It's not like sitcom humor where you have like laugh track bullshit. It's very much just kind of and there's that certain degree of self-awareness to it, especially Michael's character kind of noticing that everything else is ridiculous while he plays it. He's kind of the straight man to the rest of his family.
Right.
And of course, they did a great job of incorporating things like, Ron Howard, the narrator, kind of making his own jokes.
And the show has a very high level of rewatchability because there's a lot of foreshadowing that happens. Spoilers for Arrested Development. When Buster loses his appendage, if you go back and watch all the episodes in that season until that point, you see there's a lot of foreshadowing. Like, for instance, his hand chair, he finds that at another place, and he says, I never thought I'd miss a hand so much.
Yeah.
And there's several other things. But
I mean, I think it did a great job of kind of playing straight off of the ridiculousness of what was going on in the episodes. I mean, Buster's character was kind of almost retarded,
He was like the French steward. He was their French steward.
These are my medals, mother. This one is for marksmanship, and this one is for sand racing.
Army had half a day. And it's for an ensemble cast. They all find a way to stand out.
Yeah, and I mean it pretty much were actors from before and ones that you really hadn't heard of yet, and gave them all careers except for what's his name, Michael Cera, sort of.
Well, Michael Cera's been in a lot of movies.
Well, he's been in one movie over and over again.
Fair enough, but the show, and it only lasted 3 seasons, but I don't think it had a bad episode in that run.
No, there were no bad episodes. But see, the thing is, like, and this is, I think I mentioned this on the last show, maybe, on how, like, Arrested Development ran 2.5 seasons, because it was 2.5, right? Because it kind of got canceled halfway through the second one and then came back. Or however.
Well, let's just say 3 seasons, about 60 episodes.
Yeah. And I mean, really, because I was reading something that was talking about The Office, and it was also talking about the British original Office, and it was commenting on how the British one only lasted 14 episodes. It's like, no, it didn't last 14 episodes. It ran 14 episodes. Right. And that's kind of that's like a British thing. They don't try and run the shows as long as they possibly can, with the exception of Doctor Who, but let's not get into that.
But
yeah, I mean, their shows, they tend to run them, and this actually confuses me a little bit, but in Britain the seasons they call a series.
Correct.
But that's also because most shows only run 1 or 2 series, so there's not that much of a confusion.
True. Yeah. It is funny, though, with the Arrested Development, a lot of people that I know who like sitcoms don't like Arrested Development.
People can suck my dick. Yeah, I was about to say something like that. People who like sitcoms, until they start making sitcoms, until they get rid of the laugh track, sitcoms are a load of bullshit. I seriously do not understand why they put the laugh track in. Like, who were they trying to trick? Retarded people?
Or it's funny, like the show The Big Bang Theory, if you believe the laugh track, then every single line by every character is laugh out loud funny. Yeah.
Like, I actually hate that show, but it would be tolerable without the laugh track.
Right. I mean, the show, it seems like it was made by someone who has internet access and can look up smart-sounding things and just insert it into a show.
Yeah, I kind of get the impression that it's by someone who's kind of nerdy and wants to make a show about nerds that's accessible to people who aren't nerds. And then somehow half the nerd community is like, wow, what a great show. And then the other half are me and are like, no. Just no.
True.
Your thoughts?
I'd have to agree. Like, the show has some merits, but the Sheldon character, I think, is pretty much like a less metrosexual version of Eric, and a smarter version, but like it's just throwing out smart-sounding things for the sake of having access to it.
I'm honestly sick of your Sheldon. I'm sick of your Sheldons from Big Bang Theory, your Monk from Monk, just having these characters that are like essentially savants but have something wrong with them. It's like, I'm sorry, like, I'm just sick of the use of a dude with Asperger's as being a character who's like fine. Like there's nothing like what? Just get the fuck out of here.
It's like, if you're that smart, you wouldn't be that retarded. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of. I'm kind of saying that.
Or we shouldn't be celebrating these people?
That's not quite what I'm saying either. But I also have an issue with like the main four characters in the show. They're all physicists, right?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, they all seem to also be pretty damn proficient at a number of things that a physicist wouldn't know how to do. Like, don't they like build robots and do computer shit? Like, that's not like if you're like, I'm a molecular biologist. That does not give me a background in robots or computers or any other or engineering. No, I'm a biologist.
Well, you're just not as dedicated to education as they are.
Clearly, you're not as dedicated to knowing your words as some people.
No, it's not true. Don't even ask.
All right, so at somewhere. Oh, by the way, speaking of laugh tracks and shows, one show that used to have it, which I found it absolutely weird, was the Flintstones in the '60s. And have you heard the recent Flintstones news?
Oh, how Family Guy dude.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yes.
Yes. He is going to be bringing back the Flintstones in 2 years.
Why?
Great question.
Am I the only one who feels like that question is a completely valid counter-argument?
A lot of people seem to think that the show will be hilarious. I literally have no idea what he's going to do. Like, based on his track record, I can't see him making like a family-friendly version of the Flintstones.
Based on his track record, he's going to have a show where it's some fat dude with his wife and a kid and a dog, and there's going to be constant non sequiturs, and
Fred will fart a lot.
Yeah, and then after the first season, they're just going to keep rehashing the same jokes over and over again, but like making them longer and more irritating. Because like the first time you see Peter Griffin fall over and grab his ankle and go, and he does that for about too long. Funny. When they do it every other episode for 10 minutes, you're like, I'm sorry, this isn't a joke.
Same with the chicken fight.
Yes.
They'll have Fred fight like a dinosaur.
Or just a chicken. Because they lack the creativity to even try and disguise the joke as something else.
Hey Wilma. And
they'll have constant crossovers with the other two shows.
Yes. 3 shows.
Yeah, in fact, they'll just replace Dino with Brian.
Dino?
No, or see, like that's the thing. I imagine them just making the Flintstones, but with the exact same like animation style as American Dad and Family Guy. So like Dino will just be like a slightly hairier Brian that's purple with spots. Like it would just be like, imagine if you just took like Peter and did a palette swap and made him Fred.
I wonder who'll do the voice for the Great Gazoo.
For the Great Gazoo?
They'll get Robin Williams.
No, they'll probably just get, they'll probably just make the Great Gazoo be the creepy old guy. Like they won't even like, there will be no new characters. It'll be like the Star Wars episodes, which were equally bullshit. And it's funny because in those they always make fun of the Robot Chicken ones, but the Robot Chicken ones actually make fun of like Star Wars, not just use Star Wars as a vehicle for the same bullshit jokes.
True. I thought the first and second Star Wars episode had some funny parts. The third one was terrible.
Yeah, I'm not saying they were completely vapid and absent of anything useful, but they were honestly, I didn't see the point of doing them.
Right. That's fair. Well, Fox made a lot of money by selling the DVD trilogy.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to when they come out with the prequel trilogy.
No, they're not doing one. They're doing Indiana Jones next.
Oh wow. Great. So they really are just failing completely at ever contributing anything useful to society ever again. I'm looking forward to like 50 years from now when no one knows what those shows are. I'm looking forward to dying in a society that doesn't give a shit about that. Or just doesn't give a shit.
I think those shows will probably still be on by then. Like The Simpsons is going to go around for 30 more years, even though the voice actors will have been dead for 10 years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, by then they'll just replace them with, robots.
Or they'll just reuse old sound clips in the new episodes.
At this point, they have enough sound clips they could do that. Honestly, though, like at this point, I don't understand how they're making money making new episodes. Why can't they just sit back and enjoy syndication? And like that's my same argument for any show that they remake, with the exception of ones that were bad and then they make a remake, which is unoften.
Why would you remake something that was bad to begin with?
To make it good? I mean, I guess that's what happened with Battlestar Galactica, although I never really understood the appeal of the new show.
Which Battlestar Galactica is supposed to be the good one? The new one or the old one?
The new one.
Okay. Because I have both on my Netflix queue, but I've never watched either of them.
Honestly, though, like I've watched some of the earlier ones. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like it's the same quality as anything from that time, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just a slightly different style, I guess.
Okay.
It's like slightly, and I have to emphasize the word slightly. It's slightly campy.
All right. Looks like it's time to go into another break. So we'll be back with recommendations after this.
Hello there, I'm Mike the Canadian, but you can just call me Mike the Canadian. I was hoping I might be able to get a drink here, but what's going on over there?
Well, did you see the name of the saloon when you walked in? It is called Rodeo Jack's Saloon. Rodeo Jack's Saloon. See, we're at the rodeo. My name is Jack, and if you can see from that big open area over there, you can see the rodeo happening.
Oh, okay. Looks like there's a lot going on over there. So
it's a $5 cover to get in here. Did you pay the $5?
Yes, I did. I paid the $5.
All right, now, then you can watch the rodeo.
Yeah. So rodeo. It's like a tractor pull or something. Or
no, it's not
like
no damn tractor pull. Those are good too. But this they have the bull riders come out and they try to stay on the bull.
Oh, it sounds kind of dangerous. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but it sounds pretty exciting.
All right, hang on. They're saying the American national anthem. All right, stand up for a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sing along with me.
I don't really know the words to the American national anthem.
What kind of goddamn American are you?
Well, like I said before, I'm from Canada. I'm Mike the Canadian.
You don't look like no damn Canadian to me. You look like American. You look like me. You're white.
Well, I don't know what kind of misconceptions you have about Canada, but a lot of us are this color. I mean, we all kind of look this way. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, will you shut up? I'm listening to the goddamn song.
I'm sorry. You're the one who's kind of raising your voice there.
Excuse me, boy. You do not come into Rodeo Jack's Saloon and accuse Rodeo Jack of talking during the anthem. God damn it.
Sorry there, buddy. Didn't mean to stir you up there.
You think you can come in here with that kind of attitude? If you weren't American, I'd punch you.
Oh, I don't really want to get punched in the face there, but I gotta correct you.
Take your goddamn hat off.
Okay,
why
then.
the hell is there
a
goddamn leaf on your hat?
Well, I mean, it's there, maple leaf. It's what are on our flag. So
no,
I mean,
on our flag there's stars and stripes.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't see me making a big deal of you wearing that American flag like a hat.
All right, now they're about to start the rodeo. Now, Uh, before we lose our cool, let's restart. Would you like a drink?
Yeah, I would. Do you have could I have a pint of Labatt's? Labatt Blue. My favorite beer.
We don't do imports here. Now have a good American beer, since you are American. What would you like?
Well, I'm not really a big fan of the American lagers there, so how about maybe a pitcher of root beer then?
A pitcher of root beer? What kind of queer are you?
Well, I don't want to get too tipsy. I mean, I gotta be driving later, and I don't like that comment about me being no queer. I mean, we don't have any problem with that in Canada. I mean, we've legalized the marriage and all that, but I can assure you, I've got a lovely little lady back home. Her name's Diana.
Wait, you're Canadian? So does that mean you're a communist with government-run healthcare?
Well, I'm not really sure about that.
We don't
communism,
like communists
but,
around. I'll give you 30 seconds to get out.
Oh, all right then, but I guess that's kind of rude of you. I mean, not very good customer service. I can assure you, I surely won't be coming back to
We have 5
Radio
seconds.
Shack soon. Oh,
5.
dear. I better reach down. Oh my goodness, is that a gun? I better. Oh dear. Oh.
All right, and we are back. All right, so this is our final segment, and usually we do this a little earlier in the show, but it's usually
John,
listener
am I coming
mail.
through here?
We didn't get any listener mail, surprisingly. Nobody likes us, but we did get mail, actually, in the mailbox. And Tab, myself, Eric, Bacteria Mike, Frenchie, we all got the same letter. So, Tab, would you, and they're all pretty much the same, except the name at the beginning is a little different, but Tab, would you like to read the letter?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm going to read mine, and I'm just going to change the very beginning so it's like as if it was John's. It starts off, Dear Mr. Turcotte and your associates, as you may or may not be aware, Mr. Ramon Eric Mitch Monster Mitchell, that all one word, formerly Ramon Collins, has been imprisoned in the Nebraska State Penitentiary for serial killing of 8 transsexuals and mass murder of over and cross-dressers. After searching his apartment, we...
Wait, yeah, Tab, you went out a second. After you said, after we searched his apartment. Go back to after we searched his apartment.
DNA analysis could be found to be from your persons.
Hang on, Tab, your internet's being odd. Can you go back to after we searched his apartment?
Okay. After searching his apartment, we found documentation regarding your program, as well as shrines to the various persons associated with your show, including collections of hair which, following pending DNA analysis, could be possibly from your persons. We'd like to inform you that it would appear that you and your coworkers were possible targets in his disturbing spree of murders. If you are contacted by Mr. Eric Mitch Monster Mitchell, we sincerely hope you contact your local law enforcement, as he is considered clinically insane and a serious threat to you and your colleagues. Please contact us immediately so we can establish protective services for you and your loved ones. Our sincere Robert Douglas, Police Commissioner, Lincoln, Nebraska Police Force.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's also weird that he changed his last name to Eric Mitch Monster Mitchell.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I'm glad he changed it to Eric Mitch Monster Mitchell, not one of us, but still.
Yeah, it's, I'm glad Ramon... apparently he didn't take our advice and get a normal hobby. In fact, we might have accidentally steered him down the wrong path by telling him to get into hunting.
Yeah, it seems like he went down a long, winding road that ended with his being placed where he belonged, in a prison.
Now, I haven't looked it up yet, but has he been convicted, or is it still in trial?
I think he's been convicted. I think it was... Let me check it out, but I think it was done. It sounds like he was arrested for it, and it's just kind of... I don't know, like maybe they haven't had the trial yet, but it seems pretty obvious that
pretty cut and dry.
Did it.
So...
Yeah, let me look up Ramon Eric Mitch Monster Mitchell.
That's weird that he had shrines to us. That's kind of creepy. And then he somehow obtained our hair samples.
Yeah, that's like, and I mean, I guess he's from Nebraska, so that I mean, he must have traveled pretty far if he got samples from us. I mean, I seriously am scared if he somehow has samples of my hair in one of these shrines, since I'm not even in the U.S.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll be hearing from Ramon any longer.
I certainly hope not.
Yeah, so
I don't know. Like, does Nebraska have the death penalty?
I don't know.
Like, do you think, like, if you kill like 60 people, do you just get a life sentence or what?
Let me look it up right now. Let's find out. Nebraska, blah 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 blah. The law wasn't. Apparently, electrocution is or was the sole method in Nebraska. I'm not sure.
I think it's still legal. It just hasn't been done in a while. Because it says in 2009 they adopted lethal injection as the execution method.
Capital punishment. Alright, let's see. Nebraska. Where is Nebraska located? It is.
There's a Wikipedia page, capital punishment in Nebraska.
Okay, it's above Kansas. It is. Yep, it has been performed since 1976. It does have it. Nebraska.
Hey, in about a month, there's one in June.
Maybe that's Ramon.
Yeah.
Unless if he was deemed insane and getting treatment for the rest of his life.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll plead insanity. I mean, they said he's clinically insane, so.
So we will find out. Either way, I don't think we'll be hearing from him for a very, very, very long time, if ever.
Hopefully not.
We might have to, yeah. All right, so off that topic, or is there anything else you'd like to say about that?
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's change subject. Let's get into recommendations like we do at the end of each episode. And let's recommend ways to save money. So, Tab, would you like to recommend a way that you think people should save money in a down economy?
Yeah, I mean, I as someone who lives on a very small budget, I'm pretty good at this, but I'm going to stick with the basic thing of prepare all your own food and eat healthily. That's the easiest way to save money. If you go out to restaurants, even if you go to a restaurant once a week, that's money that you're losing. Because it's always cheaper to prepare your own meals.
That's true. Okay. And I will go off that a little bit and say that instead of going out and having your own meals and stuff, and I'm saying stay at home and drink with friends instead of going out to bars to drink, because it's a lot cheaper to do it at home if you drink at all.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
if you don't drink at all, you save even more money.
Yeah, I don't drink at all, and I mean, I'm honestly baffled by the whole idea of going to bars because it seems to be expensive to the point that I don't understand why people would do that.
Right,
you
could get a 6-pack of beer for the same price as a single beer at a bar.
Yeah, I mean, you have a little bit more insight on this. I don't fully understand the point of going to a bar and spending like 10 times as much for stuff.
It's the social aspect.
Yeah.
But you have to go to a place where you have to listen to shitty music and yell at people to hear them.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I actually once went to a bar, and it was probably one of the worst experiences of my life, actually.
and tipping. But another way that I think people could save money off of all that is by spending money on video games, like a system and a video game, and then just playing the video game for a very long time instead of spending money at different events. You could spend money once on a game and it could last you, but some games are fun for years even.
Yeah.
Like our buddy K-Cap has spent the last year playing nothing but Battlefield. I mean, it's not what I recommend going that far, but he's getting a very good return on his investment.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like the best way you can evaluate a game is how many hours you log into a game. And admittedly, certain types of games, especially back in the day when you didn't play online, certain games just inherently couldn't have as many hours as others. I mean, there were real-time strategy games, had lots of gameplay time. You could easily log in at least 50 hours. But things like first-person shooters, before you had the online component, you were lucky to get 10. But nowadays with multiplayer online, you can really stretch it out.
You spend $60 on a game, maybe $10 for an online subscription, or maybe nothing, and that game could last you, well, let's say 2 months. That's 2 months for $60. That's a very good deal.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the cost of playing online, like an Xbox 3 Live subscription, is maybe $50 a year?
Yeah, if depending on which package you get, it can be that cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reasonable cost. If you look at it as a per month cost, you add it to, say, your utilities costs. You think of it as another utility, just like electricity, internet, heating, water.
But it's a utility that you get social use out of, so it saves you gas from having to drive places, saves you money from having to spend it at said places. So,
yeah, I mean, think about you're paying for your internet connection. I mean, when you're at home, you're not using it for fancy research stuff. You're using it to go on Facebook and fuck around. So you're really just paying to have access to all these materials. The same thing could be said of an Xbox Live subscription.
Yeah, so we're advocating that you save money by spending a little bit and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good distraction from real life too. They should make a video game where you're just poor and you have to like mow people's lawns. I think that would be the least entertaining video game of all time.
Would it be worse than Mario's Time Machine?
It's close. But it wouldn't be as good as Mario Teaches Typing.
That was a good teaching game.
It was. They should make more games like that.
Yeah, they should make Mario Teaches Typing for the Wii.
You can plug a keyboard into it.
They could make Master Chief teaches how not to be a douchebag on the internet.
They should make a cooking game with Master Chef.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Apparently, I'm the only one.
You were gay.
The cake is a lie. All right. Well, looks like it's time to end this episode. Tab, do you have any closing words?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for listening. I'd like to thank Tab for joining us. I'd like to thank Cages for being too burned out to join us. And I'd like to thank me, because without me, the show's not possible.
Yeah, and I would like to thank the justice system of Nebraska for putting behind bars Ramon.
Yeah, and protecting us, yes.
Yes, protecting the innocent from the malicious.
Yes. All right, Tab, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, and I guess I will also say goodbye. So, everybody, have a fantastic day, and remember who you love. Who do you love? Who do you love? PPR.